Alright. I think this is part 15. I don't know. Like I said, I should probably stop counting, but, so, I guess after my last entry, I came to the conclusion that I'm an idiot. I don't know, so I was feeling down last time, and so I read one of the books that my sister gave me, and it talked about, I think they use it in extreme terms. Like, it almost sounds like they're saying, just ignore all negative aspects of reality and think only of the things that make you feel good. Which I don't think is the right way to go through life, but it does make a good point where it's like, if you're feeling down, just basically distract yourself. Like have a few things, kind of in your pocket, not literally, but something that you can just pull out, and something that makes you happy. And it kind of reminded me of the scene in, what was it called? Glee, where when the guy gets excited, he has to think of his grandma or a cat dying or something in order to not show that he's getting excited. So it kind of reminded me of that, except in a reverse role, where when I get depressed, I should, have an automatic thing that I think about to make me happy. And I think that's a good point. And, I started to realize that I don't want to stop. I was kind of afraid to stop thinking of CJ. Because I felt like if I stopped thinking about him, then I would stop caring about him, and I don't want to not care about him. And I think I'm just afraid to let go, because I feel like, I guess it comes back to, I don't know if it's pity or if I really just truly love the guy or what, but I want to care for him. I want him to always have somebody who, even though they know who he is and how he is, that will still be a support for him. I guess I don't ever want him to feel like he's all alone. I don't know, and so yeah, I don't want to stop caring about him. But anyways, I guess that had been on my mind, because I was like, well, how do I, because I feel like the only way for me to truly heal and not be in a depression anymore would be for me to stop caring about him. So I feel like, I don't know, I had a choice between my own well-being and, I guess emotionally being there for CJ, at least in my mind, even though I guess it doesn't really help if he doesn't know if that's the way I feel, but I don't think he would really care, even if I told him. But anyway, so yeah, I don't remember if it was the same day or the next day. I don't remember which day this was, and it was only a few days ago, but either the day of or the day after. I think it was the day after I went out, and I got incredibly drunk. And in my drunkenness, I was going to use that as an excuse to text CJ, because I knew that I was drunk. So I started typing up this text to CJ, and I I guess I'll read it out loud, but I'm not very proud of it. I didn't send it to him. I started typing it out the night that I went out, and I was too drunk to finish it, so I finished it when I woke up in the morning, and I was still drunk in the morning. I was pretty bad. And then by the time I had finished the text, I had kind of sobered up a little bit and was reading through it and came to the conclusion that I'm an idiot. But anyway, the text that I had typed out, God, I really don't want to read it. Oh well, I'm going to read it. It says, so I'm totally drunk right, and it's got so many typos, it's really bad, but it says, so I'm totally drunk right now, and I'm totally going to use that as an excuse to text you. I love you and I always will. No matter how much you hurt me, I will always care for you. You've hurt me so much. I still am depressed, and I've been thinking thoughts of self-harm and that dying might not be so bad, and that's not me, and I'm trying to fight it. I hate that I think and feel that way at times, and that I'm so weak and disgustingly pathetic. But if one morning I lose the fight, I would do all I could to be your guardian angel. I would keep you safe, and I would do my best to bring you happiness. The only way for me to get out of my depression would be for me to decide that I no longer care for you. But the way I am, I don't want to not care for you. You can beat me bloody, hate me, and curse me, and I would still want to care for you, which is messed up, but that's the way I am. I don't think I'm meant to live in a world like this where it's dog eat dog. I'm such a weakling and have little regard for myself. I know you said that you don't want anything to do with me and that you never want to hear from me again, and I'm so sorry if my texting invokes any negative feelings, but more than anything, I want you to know that I love you and care for you. No matter what, even if I stop thinking of you so much to allow myself to heal, I will still care for you always. So yeah, I read that text to myself, and I just was like, I've gone and done it. I've become the crazy girl that I never wanted to be. And I'm so glad that I never sent it. I just sound so pathetic. And I guess I'm kind of mad that I have such little regard for myself, because I was reading it and I'm kind of disgusted by how true it all is. And I've always had a logical side and then a emotional side, and before I met CJ, logic always overruled everything. I didn't act on emotion too terribly much. Then after I met CJ, I kind of relinquished control of my logic over, to my emotional side. I just let emotion overrule everything. And I recognized that way back in the beginning. I knew that everything was always a battle between, what I would call mind and heart. Anytime I was away from CJ, like on my winter breaks and stuff, I'd be like, I'm an idiot, why am I doing this? But I knew I knew that the moment that I would miss CJ or see him again after a while, that I would just fall right back into things. And I remember I called my heart a traitor. It was so much of a traitor to me. And I think for the past couple of years I've been living that way. I've been living with letting my emotion overrule everything, and I remember telling CJ, you drive me crazy, and it's not always in a good way. I felt, I guess he brought out things in me that I don't normally allow myself to do. And I think that's the other thing is I'm kind of upset to learn things about myself that I don't like. Well, I've learned that I am a very giving person in a relationship. I will bend over backwards, still even after I break, for whoever I fall for. And it's probably not a good, healthy thing to be that way. I think in mine and CJ's relationship, he took selfishness to an extreme and I took selflessness to an extreme. And that kind of got me thinking. I was like, people always talk about, people are too selfish and there's not enough people who are selfless in the world, but quite honestly, I think too much selflessness is not good either. And I got to thinking, it got me thinking about, the church and, teachings about Jesus and the people, and it's like, Jesus was physically tortured and, abandoned and betrayed by his closest friends on earth, and he still loved them afterwards, and people praise Jesus for that. But when people do that, like in real life, something's wrong with them. I think something's wrong with me for, thinking that way in my text to CJ, I guess I'm a little unsatisfied with that discrepancy. So I'm kind of curious to see what people would think is the difference between Jesus' love for humans and, the love that some people have towards people who are abusive to them. So, I'm kind of curious about that, but anyways, so yeah, I just feel like I've been a big idiot, but at the same time, I feel like I'm kind of starting to get that logical side of me back, and it feels a lot better to be that way. So yeah, I'm feeling better emotionally, although I'm still kind of mad at myself for being the way that I have been. And I have to wonder how much of it I can blame on chemicals, whatever dopamines or hormones or whatever I've been lacking in my body or have too much of or whatever. But I think my other thing is I just can't see CJ as just a completely evil person, in those support groups that my psychologist friend had pointed me to that were for people who had been in a relationship with a narcissist and, a sociopath or whatever. The thing I didn't like about the groups is they made it sound like, the narcissists were very malicious people, that they intentionally hurt other people. And I just feel like with CJ, that's not the case. I think CJ, yeah, he's a narcissist, but I think he's not malicious. He doesn't have bad intentions. He is just extremely selfish, and he cares more about himself than he cares about other people, and that's all there is to it. And I think he did care for Michelle, and he cared for me, and he cared for Tanner, and I mean, he cared about people around him, but he doesn't know how to be selfless. He doesn't know. I don't know. I guess that's his caveat, I guess. And I think he doesn't want to be that way. He doesn't, I don't think he likes the way that he is, or at least at times. I mean, he's told me before, I think I'm a psychopath. And at first I thought that bothered him, and he said, well, I don't really care. That's the thing. To him, it just kind of, it was what it was. But anyways, it was just like, I don't think CJ is out to get people. He's a person. He's a human. And I think it's so easy when people get hurt to dehumanize everyone else and say that everything's their fault. But I think I just would prefer to look at the situation as our personalities are just awful for each other. We were at two ends of the spectrum. I'm a giver and he's a taker. And and we were just so extremely different that it was unhealthy that way. And it's the same with him and Michelle. So yeah, I don't know, but anyways, I basically just wanted to talk about how much of an idiot I've been. And I wish I had a little more pride. I think I'm not a very proud person. I don't let things offend me. And a lot of people think that that's a good thing. But I almost feel like the people who are very prideful and do get offended by things are less likely to take shit from other people. And you have people like me who let people do all kinds of things to them and get trampled over and don't mind, at least not until it's like I've fallen into a deep black hole or something like that. But anyways, yep. I'm just kind of learning things about myself that I am not a huge fan of. But yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop ranting now. I used to say I'd keep these videos to 15 minutes. I'm not succeeding with that very well, but like I said, I think a lot. So yeah. That's it for today. I guess I'll talk about something that I love because I've been failing to do that anyways. Something that I love. Struggling to come up with something. I love the talents that people have. My sister likes to paint, and so she painted me a picture for my room, and it goes really well. I would show it to you, but my room's a mess. And I don't care to broadcast that all over the place, so. But yeah, I love the talents that people have that they can use to give to other people. Music and art and crafty things, woodworking. I've always wanted to learn how to woodwork. You know, metalworking and the glass shops, the glass blowers, or I don't even know what they're called. Those are always fun to watch. Yeah, stuff like that. So I know it's a lame one, but oh well. See y'all next time if I do another video.